Well, when I was a little kid, me and my neighborhood friends would always play make-believe and stuff. And there was this one house at the bottom of the street. It was this really cool house, log cabin. It was really mysterious to us because we never saw anybody who lived there. And I think at the time our parents knew him, so they weren't really worried about us. But we had no idea who lived there. And one day we just knocked on the door, and we met Alan.
I was born in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I was born out of wedlock by a young woman who got involved with a guy, and in those days things were bad. You know, the guy would just disappear. Then I was put into an orphanage, and then my folks adopted me. And they lived on the western slope in Colorado then. Yeah, I never went out of Colorado until I enlisted in the Navy. The war was nearly over, but nobody knew it. And so when I went off to Great Lakes Naval Training Station, that was the first time I'd ever been out of Colorado. I was just about, let's see now, 45, 19. You see, it was so late in the war, and my training took so long. And see, I wasn't out of, my training was as an electronic technician, and I wasn't out of that until February '46. By that time, the war was over.
One of the first times we were talking to him, he invited us in, and and he started to tell us some wild stories because he had all this cool stuff in his house. We'd ask him about it, and then, every time we talked to him, there was something new that we'd never heard before. It was just incredible.
For me, the Navy was a terrible cultural shock. Just terrible. And boot camp is a time when they seem to try to make you as miserable as possible. And they succeed. They really succeed. I was staying in the BOQ, the Bachelor Officers' Quarters, and I heard a rumor that there was a submarine going to Havana on a wreck cruise. So I called up the captain, and I talked myself on board for that trip. They said, anything you want to see or do? And I said, yeah, I want to get some rum. And they took me to this little joint. I bought several bottles of rum. And then I said, I ought to take this over to the ship. There was a message for me. See the customs officer. But I didn't. I figured if it took them until Wednesday to even notify me, then I knew I was going to leave right after class on Friday. I says, I don't think I'll bother, and I didn't. Thereby becoming a rum smuggler. And they haven't caught me yet.
It just goes to show that, out of my neighborhood, my huge neighborhood, I know like 4 families maybe, and I don't even know my next door neighbors well, and everybody probably has these incredible stories that I'm never gonna know, and it's important to hear people's stories, and it's important to tell stories so that they're not forgotten.